saw she was a super attractive girl. He saw that she was like when she go out, she gets attention because sometimes we like she'll come out with us, and he peeping how guys are staring at her, and he was just like, yeah, son, this not gonna end well for you.
Whoa,
Yeah, your eyes ain't enough.
This is what I realized at an early age, or at least in high school going to college. Eyes don't beat height. Your eyes don't beat height. If you have eyes and height, you a dangerous nigga.
Okay.
But if you are under 6 feet with the eyes and a nigga is 6'3", you not winning, dog.
5'9" eyes versus 6'3" no eyes.
You see the matchup, nigga? The video game, nigga.
Thanks for tuning in. Matter of fact, thanks for your patronage. Wildly inappropriate. See how I brutally honest it? Like, wow, that boy, wow. Don't you see them boys so crazy? Chilling with the homies, dog, Keon, Gary, and KB.
I got a homegirl that just be sending me. She was like, cause she got like 4 kids, and she just be like, "You sure you want this life?" And she just send me a video of a child shitting up his back.
Been there.
Yeah, and she just be like, "Just letting you know, all this is coming for you."
I wish they would tell you though when they do that at the back, that those things roll down. They never said that.
What do you mean roll down?
So you know how the kids little onesies they be wearing?
Yeah.
You can roll them down. Parents be trying to take them off over their head like a shirt.
Oh,
You can just roll it down. And no, I found that out like after my kids is done with that phase. Yeah.
Oh shit.
I didn't know that's what they're made for, to take them and roll them down.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Never knew that. I'm over here trying not to get doo-doo in his hair and shit.
I'm trying to see what I've learned as a father in the future that I've kind of learned from like just hearing what you guys say or even living with you, and you know. One is patience. I feel like just the way you communicate, the way I watched you communicate with Keelan and Kendrick, I feel like
And his wife.
Well,
Come on, bro. Stop playing.
I feel like I would probably be in that realm of like, of course, depending on the child. So I know sometimes with the child, you might have to be a little bit more aggressive or whatever the case may be. But like I've looked at that, but like I like that space of like I guess I just enjoy that space of just like you can respectfully talk to them in a certain way, and you don't have to like always snap on them. You know what I'm saying? And I saw that, I was like, I like that, man. And I don't know how Gary talks exactly in front of his kids.
Reckless.
But I feel like Gary do be coming. Gary be coming here and he be speaking to us like he be, hey papas, like he still be having his lingo going.
Yeah, do you do that? Do you do toddler voice?
Oh yeah.
I never did that.
I wouldn't expect you to be a toddler voice, nigga.
I love it.
I never did that.
I love it. I know
When they
like,
say don't do it.
Yeah, they say don't do it because I'm
talk
like,
to 'em
man,
regular,
nigga, they
but-
gonna be this old for how long? I'm having fun. Like, they gonna be talking grown their whole life.
I just never wanted to do it either though.
Yeah. Oh, cute shit. I still, yeah.
So you couldn't wait to when you had a kid. You was just like, man.
I was used to that voice. I was used to that voice. I was an Uncle hella young.
Oh,
So I was
okay,
always,
okay.
yeah, I was always tapped in. I never felt any like, don't talk to him like them. Like, man,
He was
I'm
always
having a
doing that.
moment.
Then. Okay,
Yeah.
it's interesting.
It's just not, yeah, it was just natural for me. But you know, to each his own. But I never, you know, also I don't listen to nobody.
But that's right, because you said just read the books, and you was just saying, who gives a fuck about these books?
I didn't
None
read a
of that
single
shit.
book. Now that's something I didn't do. I
None
didn't
of
read
that
a
shit
single
don't
damn
work.
book. Cotty was
Yeah.
doing that type of shit. Like, well, nigga, people been raising kids since the beginning of time with no books.
Yeah.
Like,
People been raising kids and they can't read.
True. Audiobook.
People can't hear.
right. It's facts.
They can't read, can't hear.
And then you want me to read books written by these white parents? No.
That's true too.
You know what I mean? I ain't seen no baby books. Every book is Doctor, you know, some old white lady or some. But
Finkelstein.
yeah, no, nigga, no.
So you think white babies and black babies are different?
I think the parenting is very different. The parenting is very, very different.
So you don't think parenting an infant is kind of universal across the board? You think it's a very specific
It should
cultural experience?
be, but how they raise their kids is very different.
How would
Okay.
you think a white child? Because it's interesting what you said about specifically an infant. How do you think white parents would raise an infant compared to how a black parent would raise an
I
infant?
think it's the same. You feed them,
When-
you change them.
When it comes to
That's
an
not
infant.
true though, bro. That's not true.
He's saying infant. Infant means
Even
what?
infants.
Infant.
You see people. What's
What's
the
the
infant
black- what's
stage?
the-
What's the infant stage?
Zero
Infant
to
is
one,
zero
right?
to 1.
No, that ain't the same.
You think it's different?
I know it's different
Well,
because I
how?
watched it.
How's it different?
Shit, how many white parents you think trying to feed a 6-month-old ribs, nigga, and get some of this? Just so, you see it all the time, man. I saw it with my family. I saw you let that baby have some of that, the grown ass cookout food and that type of how they talk to the baby. All that.
I think
shit,
we
bro.
have it. I think there's a great overlap. We have an understanding of like what the baby can eat. Like I don't think motherfuckers is just.
I saw.
Well,
it.
I've seen this. I've seen this growing up, and I heard this, and on top of hearing it, where it's like I don't know why they do it. I forgot why they exactly do it, but they'll put like alcohol in their finger and they
Well,
put it
that's
in
to
the
make them
baby's
go to
mouth.
bed.
Yeah.
So it's like I don't know if I want to do. White
I think that's
parents.
universal.
Yeah.
Is it universal?
I think that's universal.
Like-
the rum on the gums.
I could point out a
yeah.
difference. I think our association with rice cereal and putting rice cereal in bottles is different from white people.
I don't think did I do the right.
Yeah, there's like put rice cereal in a bottle to thicken it up, or like for a variety of like use it as a bunch of different remedies if they're weight low and all this other stuff. But you're not supposed to put rice cereal in a bottle. But
Because it's hard
like,
to get out, right?
No, I don't know exactly why. I don't know. I think maybe it makes it too thick or something, or it makes them. I don't know why. I don't know why.
Cut 2 with poison in them on the low.
Yeah. Oh, that was also a thing with rice cereal. Like it had some sort of poison in it. That whatever.
But then too with the baby stuff, everything keeps changing. So put the baby on the side, put the baby on his back, put the baby. It's like, nigga, y'all don't know what the fuck y'all doing.
Okay.
Let people just raise their kids, and if you survive, good job.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah, the side, and then the blanket thing.
The
I think
blanket, thing, everything
thing,
keeps changing. Don't sleep in the bed with the
Yeah.
baby. Well, sleep in
Yeah.
you roll over, you can kill it. But my kid slept in the bed. I was fine.
Yeah.
I didn't roll over. As a
Oh.
matter of fact, it made me sleep lighter.
That was another thing that we had. Like, don't fall asleep holding the baby. Nigga,
the
and
best
I'm
sleep,
accustomed
bro.
to just being passed out with the baby on me.
Head back, nigga.
But then
baby
I would
on
have
the
to
chest.
sneak that. I would have to like, if I hear footsteps, I better wake up. You know what I mean? She coming in. Are you sleeping with the baby? I'm like, yes.
Yes.
This is nigga shit.
But is it? It's not.
I don't know that would be nigga. Yeah.
It's just that
I think
shit.
your body just shuts down, right? 'Cause I feel like since I don't get
It's just parenting, bro.
It's like
Like,
you're
you
aware.
fall asleep.
I'm not gonna drop the baby,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
But there's some people who just don't have control of their bodies like that, and they just stumbling and fumbling around. Like I played Division II football. I'm not gonna fall asleep and drop this baby.
But I do feel like too. It depends on probably how hard you
It's a
sleep.
mile, nigga. I ain't trying to run a mile.
Dropping the ball.
Have you seen the program?
That's interesting. Because that's the stuff I'm on my end. I still don't have any. I don't know. Which is like, am I going to be calling cats and be like, hey man, so what did y'all do at this?
Man, parenting is
You
such
ain't
a
gonna do nothing.
natural
Yeah. It's
thing
gonna
that
be
humans do because that's what our DNA does.
Yeah.
That's why I think the books and shit are fucking dumb. Like we're literally built. If we're taking away all the humans, I mean religious, we are literally built to smash and create children. That is what we do as humans.
Yeah.
We create children and we raise them.
And that's every animal, right? Because we look at that.
Yeah.
You look at the animal kingdom in a sense. They know what the fuck to do too. There's nobody really guiding them.
There's no deers
Yeah.
reading books. There's no tigers reading. They just know, and the babies know, and that's just nature.
I think there's a part though to eliminate certain like possibilities of like fatalities. Like if you have the information, like okay, this. Children have died from this, or when you do this, so you just don't just to
But then
cover your
those
bases.
that's what I'm saying. Those keep changing too, though. Because we're just
because it's inconsistent.
We're just
yeah.
figuring it out.
There's all because crib death or whatever they call it now is like it's a mystery. It's very like we don't really understand it, so they're just trying to like check off all the boxes. Like, hey, we notice a tendency the kids live if you don't do this.
Like everything is what they call it shit. When you don't have the theory, the thing before the
hypothesis.
Theory, yeah, hypothesis.
Hypothesis.
That's what they're doing. Like there's no just raise your kids and try not to beat the shit out of them and talk to them cool and love them like nigga.
Yeah, it takes a lot, man.
Stop.
I told Jess the other day. It's I have to like be able to discern between like no, this is just my son. This is just Pilot hitting his sister. Like, but in my mind, I equate it to like this is a man hitting a woman.
Yeah.
So I'll be hot. Like I'll be in
With
the
his
car the other
siblings,
day.
though.
I was like, bro, but she's also an instigator. So
That's what I'm saying.
and she's tough as fuck.
You get to a point too, you be like, well, hit him back.
Yeah.
You get to
Oh
that
no,
point
she yeah, no,
'cause
she
the
take off
oldest
first.
the oldest kids usually are like, I'm not supposed to hit, so they
Yeah.
just sit there and get beat on. And
Yeah.
after a while, you be like, nah, man, blast his ass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He'll stop.
Yeah.
I was the
man.
youngest, and I would definitely push my limits. And then usually when I got punched, it was because, all right, this is like the 6th time you done hit him.
Yeah.
Nigga, and I feel like my dad was never on the scale of like, oh, like your brother's smaller than you, he's younger than you. It was always like, yeah, rough that nigga up. Make him tougher, beat him up. Like my dad, he'll let the fight go for a second. He'd be like, yeah. His whole thing was like, don't fight in public. That was his main thing. He's like, y'all better not ever fight in the streets with each other. If you're gonna fight in the house, he was busting things, but he would like he'd keep cooking and walk in there, and if something's broken, then he'd be like, y'all broke this. Now I gotta put both of y'all asses.
Oh wow.
But other than that, he'll let us yell, scream, stop. He bought us gloves at one point. He's like, all right, y'all getting too big to just be punching each other with your fist. Y'all gotta use gloves now. And so it was like that was like his energy with us. Maybe two boys is different, of course. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think the whites are doing that.
I don't know. I know they're not
in their books.
I know they're not saying it's gonna be me and you. I know that for a fact. And that's so normal in our. I know exactly what you meant. That's so normal in our culture.
They could be though.
I don't think they're saying that.
It could
phrase.
be. We're speculating.
It's gonna be me and you.
We're
I'm
speculating.
talking about the phrase, not that they're. You know,
well, their version of that.
Yeah, their version of it.
What's their version of me and you?
I don't know.
I think they are though.
I've never heard it from a white
I'll see
father.
it. I'll see you.
Later
it's
on
gonna be
in the
me
garage,
and you.
buddy, and later on in the.
But here's the thing. I think you guys are comparing us to suburb white parents. I think them down south.
Country, yeah.
When you see them videos, they're very similar to how we
They
go
are.
and
Go
react.
get the
to
paddle.
Yeah. I've seen them snatch.
You think
their
they say
kid-
me and you?
Hand the ass. It's gonna be
I think
hand
it's
the
gonna be
ass.
something like that. I think it's gonna be something like
yeah.
that. Not me and you.
Have you seen the videos on TikTok? It's like where it's a prank, but it's like where the kids will purposely tell the mom to like something disrespectful, to be like "shut up, mom" or whatever, and the parents like you see how they do it in front of the father to see how they react. And then they was like one video with this like dude in the South, and he said, "Shut up, mom, I'll do it later." And that nigga ran outside in the field. He was like, "You motherfucker!" And he was running after the kid, and he was like, "It's a prank, stop!" So I think there is similarities depending on for sure. I mean, especially when it comes to the culture. Maybe like the suburbs is different, but like when it comes to the South,
they doing what we doing.
The suburbs, I don't think so. I think he has a point. I think he has a point.
But like you said, the lingo is probably just different in a sense.
Well, but even that, I think you have these parents like out here, nigga. I had one ask me, "How do you get your kids to listen?" That ain't happening. To his point, ain't nobody in the deep South asking how. I'll tell you how to get to listen. You know what I mean? They're not doing. I think it is different. Depending on where you're raising your kids and what type of white you're around,
and it might not even just be a region thing. It could be also too I would say like a poverty thing when it comes to like money. Like
when you're poor,
I don't got time to be.
I'm about to beat your ass.
Right. I don't have time for you to.
I am frustrated about a lot of things. And you are sucking me dry. I'm beating your ass.
They didn't give my vacation time, little nigga. Nah.
I agree with that.
So I would say there's more overlap than not because most people are struggling.
Probably.
Yeah. So it's more overlap than it isn't.
Okay. That makes sense.
So everybody beating their kids.
Right. But I tell you who ain't, the doctor, because they have money, nigga. So they
people with money have a much stronger patience.
I think that's what it is with these book writers. The audacity that you have.
To think that people got that kind of money.
Or not even just that I can tell you how to raise a kid when everybody's doing different things and going through like, who are you to, and you don't even have a kid.
I think it's good to set, but
I'm
there's
a
just
child psychologist. That's fine.
Yeah.
But nigga, are you dealing day in, day out with this? You know, you got a spouse here. Like people who talk about parenting aren't talking about everything that comes with parenting. The job stress, the you and your spouse stuff, the like just this kid and being what
parenting your spouse. Go ahead, you can say it.
that wasn't even. In
I
my
thought
mind
that's what you were about to say. Okay. I gotta parent these kids. I gotta parent this lady.
No, but like it's just your issues that you guys might have when after the baby comes, the difference in parenting, the different like, and then for you to just be like, because I have a degree.
So you don't think that there should be any books written on parenting?
I think the best advice for parenting comes from parents in different, you grab different advice from different people in different settings. Like, I don't think there's a book.
That's experience. It's more experience.
Yeah, it's experience based. It's not a book to be like.
You just sit outside of elementary schools like, I like the way you work with your kid.
People have done that. I've had that done to me, where they be like, hey man, I like, so what's y'all program that y'all do? Like, because I think what everything is when you're an adult, especially if you have, I think it's easier if you have a village to do it, to be like, hey bro, what's, this. But I think if you don't have a village or you just observe something, you're like, what's that? Like, if you want to learn, I think some people are very okay with, I want to learn how to do. I've seen people, like, if you, let's say you see somebody working on a car, you don't know nothing about car. Hey bro, what's, I mean, I think people parenting.
But you gotta know it. But you gotta know it works though.
That's true. I
So
think.
we gotta
Well, I
see
think
the
that's
results.
from the parenting. They see the results. Like, man,
Yeah.
your kids are really well behaved.
You gotta,
Like,
yeah.
what's
So,
the-
what they should ask, like, how many times have you hit them to get them to? He's like, only once. I've only hit him once in my whole life.
Once in my
So,
entire life.
In college,
That's
did
all
I
it
have
takes.
to take a child development class at all? Because I know we had to take. I think for like our,
I think if you're teaching, if you're going into teaching,
I think for like our general ed, we had to take like a child
No, I
development
didn't have
class.
to do
And you
that.
know what was funny? One, it was like 95% women. That's number one. It was like me and my boy Ricky were like the only two dudes in there. Number two, I was in there like, I don't know this. Like a lot of the stuff they were teaching us, it was like this seems pretty like basic human nature stuff. You know what I'm saying? But the women were like all in, taking hella notes. Me and Ricky in there joking around, clowning and shit like this. And it's just like this seems pretty basic. It might have been a handful of things I was just like, all right, like this might work on that child versus this child, but it might not
Right.
be a thing that's universal. You know what I'm saying? So I think it was I don't
know. It feels like a
Little
man
waste.
saying "sit your ass down" is pretty universal. I didn't did that to kids that ain't mine, to kids that, and they listen.
Yeah.
So I don't
And then
know.
even like I said, I was a teacher's aide for years, and when I would, every time I would come in there, I said my presence was felt. Just in general, men's presence is usually felt, and
Yeah.
they'll say the teacher come in there and be like, "We're glad to have you here, Mr. Keenan. Like we need a male figure." And I be running. I'm like, "You let these niggas run over y'all like this?" There's only one kid that I couldn't get through.
Yeah.
Is this kid? It was at a school in North Hollywood too, and this nigga was just socking niggas, socking teachers. Nigga socked me.
He's going through a lot at home.
And I was just like, I was like, I want to hit this nigga so bad. Like I wanted to punch this nigga because he hit me hard too. And so that's why I don't say what a kid interacts with that. But I remember this kid, and I honestly was like, it's this African kid. And then I think like there was like there was language barrier issues,
Yeah.
and then I think there was probably some abuse going on.
Yeah.
And then when I was able to finally, I still couldn't get him in check fully, but like it was one of those things. Like every once in a while, people like, Mr. Keenan, can I sit with you and can I drink with you? Like drink the little juice boxes with you? It's like, all right, cool. And then when recess
40.
hits, pow, you're socking nigga again.
Yeah.
But like in the classroom, we kind of calm more down. But but I feel like it was an instant impact when men stepped into the room, whereas the women teachers were very like soft spoken. We don't do that.
Yeah.
Please, guys, stop. And when I came in there, it was just like, hey, what are you doing? It was that stuff.
Yeah.
So
Male presence definitely matters. Maybe the books aren't for us.
Yeah, maybe it's preparing them to be a single mom. It's like, hey, this is how you single mother. That should be the book though.
That would be.
If there's a book, that should be the book. This is how you single mother. This is how you single father.
But even
Gary,
that,
you might need to go into that route right there.
You know what I mean? I gotta live it first, baby.
But you said
It's just over. I'm an author now.
you said your mom though. Your mom raised you, so you have experience in the sense of like what you've seen, right?
Yeah, but dude, like in all honesty, like I never felt like I was being raised. I felt like I was surviving. Like none of this shit. Like I didn't have like life lessons. Like, oh, here's a lesson on life, right? Like it was all, nigga, we are scrambling. Nothing felt intentional. Nothing felt like this is going to help
Every
me
day's a
later in
mystery.
life. Every day is a mystery. The only thing I did that felt like somewhat like as a means to prepare you for your future is my mom opened a bank account for me when I was 13.
what did football do for
Um,
that stuff?
It's hard to say. It's hard to say. It gave me a sense of structure within like the game element of it.
You didn't have any father figure coaches that you were like, I can look up to him,
but
Yeah.
I never like,
fully listen to him.
I mean, I knew better.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't just like I need hella direction, like I'm so lost, like I knew what the right thing was to do, and I was just like naturally smart.
Yeah.
So, I would and competitive, but then also seeking the approval of your parent who's kind of neglectful. I made sure that I did well in school, so when my grades come, I can get that positive reinforcement, you know. But a lot of times, it manifested in like criticism on things that weren't perfect.
Oh, of course.
So you know, it's like, okay, well, I can't get a win here. You know what I mean? And then that's how I received gifts. Like I had to go through the checklist of like, okay, what are the reasons she would say no? And I had to make sure I, you know, covered all those bases. Like, okay, my grades are straight, my discipline's straight. She shouldn't say no.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then it would be, you know, something else she'd figure out. But I was still end up getting them because my shit was on point. Yeah. I was on point, dude, for the most part until pussy came into the picture.
That's most people's downfall.
And then it was like nothing else matters. Why would I do anything?
Once them girls start growing titties, you was like, I mean, is school really?
My dad was so afraid for me. My dad, when it came to me and my brother, he was just like, you know what, Keenan, I feel like girls are gonna wreck you. Like I feel like you're gonna be the one that I'm gonna worry about. You're gonna get a girl pregnant fast. You're like, I feel like you're gonna go. Cause I was going girl crazy at a young age, whereas Corey was kind of like he just living life. He was just being the older brother, and I was getting girls super early. But I know that when it came to girl, he was just like he was always like, nigga, you better be using condoms. I'm like, I'm not even fucking yet. Well, here's a box, nigga, just in case. Like,
do you think that part of that was he didn't trust your decision making? Not just girls, but like this nigga's, he's not like Corey's the smart nigga. Like Corey's gonna make a better decision versus you gonna do some dumb shit.
Yeah, I think that was.
Like he didn't trust you.
I can only go off me.
Yeah.
I don't think I made a bunch of dumb decisions. I thought I made some great decisions. Maybe in his eyes they were bad decisions.
Yeah.
So I think I would say in that space where he can leave Corey since Corey would babysit us. When I would be left alone, he'd be like, shit, Corey, what time you get off practice? Like it was like that. And I was like, we're not even that far in age, nigga. What do you think? I don't be wrecking the house up, nigga. What the fuck you talking about?
I got a question. Do you have two voices for your father? His drunk voice and a sober voice. I need more distinction between the two because when you uncovered how he was when you were fishing, you know what I mean. And then now was he drunk telling you to use condoms? Like, nigga, here's a box of condoms. Or was he like, or was y'all on a fishing trip and he's like, son, you might want to consider strapping up.
We had those talks somewhat, but I mean, for the most part, my dad, it would be a filling out process. It would be one of those things like there were times my dad would pop on the phone when we were on three with some girls, and he'd be like, sometimes he would be drunk. It'd just be a random. I just have to catch him.
Okay.
I hated the father-son talks. Sex talks and shit like that. Couldn't stand it.
Though he wasn't like birds and the bees. He was just like the legit thing he first said to me. He's like, if you out there fucking use a condom, nigga. And they fast, they doing all this. They want to have you got pretty eyes, nigga, nice hair. They want your kid, nigga.
Did your dad have a don't do it in my house rule?
My dad?
My dad had that rule.
Hell nah. My dad was like, nigga, hey.
She better be loud.
Hey, one time I smashed the chick.
You wasn't in there doing shit.
So he didn't hear anything. And he
was at the top with his EJ.
Yeah, I'm about to say drinking.
I was in college at the time, right? And I remember like I walked around or whatever, and he came in there. He was like, I was like, I'm guessing you didn't win last night, nigga.
What y'all in there doing? Playing chess?
He's like, I didn't hear anything. Was it niggas in just watching movies all night? What the fuck happened? I was
Well, you said college age. That's a little different.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. I was like,
college age is a little.
She should have been.
By college age, but even by college age, your relationship with your dad changes to more.
Well, because I think when I was in high school, he wasn't on some like in high school you can go ahead and fucking here. He was like if you gonna do it, like. Do it when we not here and don't fuck in our room. Home,
which is crazy because that's what people was doing.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
That's crazy. You had your own room and people were doing that.
Why would you fuck in
your parents'
room?
room? I never thought of that. I never thought of that. And everybody like you saw it on the TV. You saw it, and Biggie had the line fucking it like.
Even at the parties, like the movies at the parties, it would always be in the parents' room.
Like I have my room. Like why would you do this?
From the movies, they see the movies.
That's like
I don't know if it's a twin size bed thing. I don't know if it's the girl convincing him or
I need more room.
I was a little nigga. I was sitting pretty in my twin size bed.
You can't dig a bitch down properly in a twin size bed.
That's just crazy to me that never crossed my mind ever. Like to go to I don't think I've ever been to anybody's parents' room?
No,
Ever.
me neither.
Ever?
I'm sure I have.
I don't think I have.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I was fucking out in the garage, in the backyard, in the parks.
I was in their
I was doing
rooms.
everywhere else but their room.
Yeah, I was in their rooms. Like you said, cars,
Mm-hmm.
whatever. But I never went into their room.
Yeah.
It was a fear too. My room was pretty close to the door, right? So I could hear everything. And if we could just pop out to the living room real quick. My dad and his wife room at the time, their room was so deep in the house that it would be like so much work to get out of there and not get caught.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like, their room was so deep. I had to run out, get in, get her dressed. It would have been like, all right, nigga, you just came out of our room. Like,
And what's
clearly.
crazy too is like the window for smashing in your parents' house is short anyway, because let's say you start smashing junior or senior year in high school, and then you're up to college. You're on your own. You're doing your own thing, or so the window's small anyways for that many people to be smashing in their parents' bed was just wild to me. I was like, no.
That's ballsy. That's gutsy to me, to smash in your parents' bedroom. And then you don't clean up well as a high school kid. So you're gonna leave something behind, dog.
And that's just crazy. And what if your parents is in there? Like, it's just none of it.
Okay,
made sense to me.
now you're doing a risk assessment for like an 18, 19-year-old.
No, I'm saying like for like your folks smash in this bed. Why do you want to smash in the same bed? Like that's just wild to me.
Now that is a better reason to smash on if you're at somebody else's house, because the person gonna be like, you ain't smashing on my room. You're not smashing on my bed. You gonna fuck on my dad's bed, but you ain't fucking on, like, you know what I mean? It's still weird, but it's like it ain't directly touching me.
Yeah.
Or if you smashing, you better be on top the whole time. You don't be on your back on my
Let me
bed
tell my
with your
kids
ass
real
on.
quick. I hear them leaving.
You said what?
They leaving for like 2 days. I'm gonna say bye.
Oh, who leaving? Oh. Yeah, y'all not gonna come say hi?
If anything, you should have came to me, nigga. They just
You wouldn't knock or nothing.
they just took off without him. Like, he's good, nigga. They don't love that man, dog. Kia took all this family shit. They don't love this nigga, bro.
That's hella funny. And it would be funny if they're like not even in a rush. They just like, oh yeah, we just gonna get on the road. We don't got no time constraints. We just happen to, oh man.
Because with Janelle knows our thing is you gotta say bye and I love you before you leave the house. That's if somebody's in the house, you have to say that. That's
Trained
our
her well, bro. I don't know what this nigga doing in this house.
hey, and it for sure a training, to be honest, because she wasn't with it. I was like, you're going to do this.
Yeah.
And now she's on some like when I don't do it, or if I'm like about to step out, she'll be like, what are you run into the room? What are you doing? You're gonna leave?
He's gonna leave.
So just like you're right. It's like you know what it is.
Funny.
It's one of those things when I step out the door, I go like, got her.
Yeah.
Like yeah, you're right. He's like got her ass, trained her real
she
well.
knows what she knows. But this, I don't know what he doing.
This nigga got to say bye to his family. He don't go say bye
he
to
got,
him.
He got to
It's
step
insane.
out to go. So they just not gonna say bye to you, huh?
The kids, no.
They don't give a fuck.
They just they going to Legoland. They
I
don't.
see him when
Oh,
I see him.
okay.
They excited.
Hey.
My mother-in-law's here. She's taking them.
Oh,
So they're
okay.
going today. Spend the night tonight. And come back.
She be popping up. She be popping up a good amount, man. That's good.
Oh, the grandparents be out here. My dad was just in Vegas, seeing my nieces and nephews. He just called Keelan the other day saying he needed to come visit. She be popping up all the time. My mama only lived, an hour and a half away, so we see her all the time.
Yeah.
No, they got relationships with their grandparents, which I think is super dope.
That I always felt like
Yeah.
growing up, I was never. I don't know who my dad's father is. I don't think I ever met him before. Can't tell you what this
I met
nigga
my
even looks like.
dad's dad once, and my mom's situation is horrifying.
Really?
My mom's
So you
situation
feel like you
is
shouldn't have met him because
fucking
it was so
horrifying.
bad.
My mom doesn't know exactly who her father is, but the guy that they think is her dad, he was like a milkman and he fell off a milk truck and died.
Damn.
But I don't think she's ever met him.
Jesus.
And then my mom's mom was murdered
Damn.
by a jealous boyfriend.
Damn.
Like, yeah.
Milk and murder.
Milk and murder,
Milk and
baby.
murder.
Gary Anderson story.
Yeah, so I never met my grandparents on that
Damn,
side.
so at
And then
all.
my grandmother is the only one I had like a relationship with.
And she is your dad's.
Oh, my
mom?
dad, yeah. And
She was
passed-
close.
passed
She was
away.
close knit. Was she kind of like that?
She was like the grandmother who took took care of all the
Oh, okay.
all the kids type of
Yeah.
thing. And did the best she could. But yeah, I didn't have like a strong relationship with her. I was just kind of like one of the kids.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's other issues within the family. So yeah.
Do y'all feel like when it comes to grandparents that like at least even from when you were growing up, do you feel like, man, like I like grandma and grandpa more? I like being over here more because they were more chill compared to what your parents were or what it was.
I only like being at my grandmother's house because my cousins were there, so that would be the
Right,
spot.
I
right,
say
where
that's
we're
half
all-
the fun.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
But I ain't win. I was just kicking it with grandma. Like, like this house real the kids when we
Yeah.
fucking around, and we could get away with more shit because she don't, she
ain't tripping, yeah.
she ain't on your ass like that.
yeah, I just like the adventure of my grandparents' house.
Yeah.
So it was like well, I ain't gonna lie, the food from
Yeah.
my mom's, from Papa and Grant, nigga.
Fire.
That was why I was there, nigga. The food was insane, and my mom can cook, but
Yeah.
Granny and Papa, nigga, that shit. So that was my favorite thing, and then like I said, my cousins would be there, and then on my dad's side, my grandma, my grandpa, we never went and stayed with him ever. We would go visit him with my dad.
I feel like for me, when I went to go visit my grandparents, or at least both my grandmother on my dad's side and my grandparents on my mom's side, since it was like out of the state, that was the the adventure of it all.
Yeah.
Like, all right, so it was like we'd go out to my grandma on my mom's side for the family reunion. So like you said, all the cousins would gather up at her house before we would leave for the family reunion. We'd stay there for like, for a month. And so you got that, and then you got to be in the South, and just that whole experience of that. And then my other grandmother was like in New York, so we'd just go to her crib in New York, and as you could experience New York for 3 weeks. So it was a whole aesthetic of the city and the grandparents.
So you've been to New York in the summer as a kid?
Yeah.
That's what's up. That sounds wild.
Yeah.
No, we were just here Christmas, summer breaks, like a week or two, and then like I said, but it was mostly like on my dad's side. We go to my grandma's house. My cousins is there. We hanging out, and then my uncle, my uncle, my dad's youngest brother, he was like a teen when I was a kid. So hanging out with him was like dope because he was like old enough to go. So we going around LA all over. He got his little girl with him, his girlfriend and shit.
Yeah.
So I'm like, ooh, so I felt like he was cool. Like, oh, I get to hang out with him.
Right.
So that part was fun. Like, matter of fact, he would go places and we would sneak out because we didn't want Keith to come.
I was just about to ask you that. Like,
So
where's
they
Keith
would-
in this?
So they would put on like one of Keith's cartoons. And when
Okay.
Keith was little, he was one of them kids, head back watching TV. Like nigga,
Yeah.
he's locked in.
Why you want him to come for?
Because one, he was just slower, and two, but he didn't even want to do the stuff like the stuff we wanted to do. He didn't want to do.
Yeah.
So if my uncle was gone or some, just to run errand or go play ball or something, I'm like, I'm rolling, bro.
Right.
And then they put that thing on, and Keith would watch that, and we'd sneak out. He didn't want to do that stuff anyway. He didn't want to. If he had his cartoons, bro, he could do that literally all day.
I was like I said, I was similar to Keith, but I was down for the adventure. Like when my cousins would come out here from New York, my older cousins too, my cousin Moody, like he was a New York nigga. He had a flat, tight look, kind of like Steel or whatever.
Yeah.
But he just loved gaming up California, LA girls. Like he was like, yo, I just want me a Cali shorty, son. And he just walk around, I'd be with him, and he'd be gaming chicks up. And honestly, for me, that was kind of like my first comprehension of somebody macking for real, because one, to see a kind of a fatter nigga mac, and 'cause I was like, I ain't gonna be to get no girls, and to see this nigga pull bad ones as a fat nigga, he just like it's the New York slang, baby. They love it out here, man. They can't get enough of it. But I would love to go on those adventures like that. I was never just like fully stuck in.
That'd be funny if he couldn't pull shit in New York though.
Right. Struggling.
He can't pull
Everybody
I
talk
gotta
like
come
that.
to Cali.
Yeah.
But that was I don't know, because he was like, I gotta move out to Cali, kid. I gotta get out here.
Because he was
man.
winning, that's why.
That
He
nigga was, so he probably was a lot easier.
probably was regular in New York. He's just another nigga.
Yeah. What else you got?
The slang don't work out here, nigga. That accent, we got the accent.
Because when you go different places, it does make, like when I went to Indiana for the first time, when I went to the Circle City Classic, them girls like, you from Cali? That was all I needed.
Yeah,
I didn't have to
accent.
do nothing. I didn't have to do nothing. It was just you from a different place. It's a different experience.
Yeah.
So
And they get enamored by just like they even probably having sex with a nigga from out of state. It's just like a thing
at
for
that
them.
age, it's just different. Like you just like, but yeah, I enjoyed the cousins aspect mostly. But on my mom's side, the food, nigga. I went one summer in 8th grade. We went for a week or two. I put on 15 pounds.
Shit.
All I was doing was eat. I mean, I lost it immediately,
Yeah.
when I got back. But I was just eating. Like, that's all we would do, was just eat. And they was always cooking. Or, y'all hungry? Yep. Goddamn right.
Yeah, I feel like grandparents would, when it came to food, had food.
They
on
have
deck.
food, bro.
Yeah, yeah. We had to have Sunday dinner and then a dinner after Sunday dinner, nigga. It was just
And I was eating all of it. I did not. I was never not. It was never one point where they was like, "Y'all hungry?" And I was like, "No."
And you know, with grandparents, I didn't even want to eat takeout. Like that wasn't even an
Oh,
option
no.
in my head. I was just like, I want grandma's meatloaf. I want grandma's smothered fried chicken.
Yeah.
I want the food that she's cooking. I think every once in a while we would go to a Hardee's or whatever.
We go to
it was.
McDonald's every once in a while.
But yeah, for the most part, or Bojangles because we didn't have one out where we were
Yeah.
at. But like other than that, are y'all still close with those cousins? Any of those cousins y'all used to kick it with?
I talk to them. They come to my like when I go to the 3 on my dad's side, Merle, Nisha, and Angie. They moved out to Lancaster. And so when they were in LA, we saw them all the time. Then they moved to Lancaster. We didn't see them as much.
Yeah.
And then they moved to Florida. So now I only see them when I do shows out there.
Okay.
Well, they did come out here recently for we had like a family kind of reunion, kind of sort of. They came out for that, but I see them when I go out there.
So your family is majority LA based then?
Yeah, my mom and dad are from LA.
But I'm talking about like all your family, like all the cousins, the
Mhm.
aunt, everything, like all that.
It was here. I mean, you know, the ones that I know, the extended were in Seattle, Milwaukee. So the family reunion sometimes be in Seattle.
Oh, okay.
Because my granny's brothers and sisters, a lot of them moved up to Seattle. So I had a lot of family in Seattle. That's why when I did that show in Renton, Washington, it was hella family there.
Got you.
Like my mom's first cousins and her aunts and uncles and shit like that.
That's an interesting, nice way to book your tour schedule. You know what I mean? Where my family at?
Because they'll come. They ain't seen you in a
Yeah.
minute. You know what I mean? Like,
So, well, for you niggas, it was Father's Day. How did y'all look at Father's Day, and did y'all get anything for Father's Day?
I wasn't even here. I was on a
road?
flight coming back. But I thought the flight would be landing earlier. The plan was I land, we watch movies and eat junk. And then my flight got delayed twice. So I just came home in time for them to go to bed. And then we just hung out tough Monday and Tuesday.
So you do have a plan for Father's Day with the kids now. That it's an actual thing. Where it's like, all right, we're gonna do something today.
I think they're at an age now where they want to do stuff.
Got you.
So they couldn't wait to, like, they had their little gifts. And they was like, Dad, we can't give it to you till Father's Day, though. And then when I came in, they was hella happy. They ran and got their gifts. Like, it was for them.
Yeah.
Which I guess is what it should be, right? Like,
What do you mean it's for them?
I'm their dad.
Oh, it's from them. Okay.
Yeah, so like the Father's Day, they're excited
Yeah.
to do something for dad.
That was
I'm
the
like,
same thing I said.
I got
but
my dad.
I
Like,
took a lot of heat for that.
What?
The first Mother's Day, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna call my mom.
Oh, because that's your mom.
Yeah, I'm gonna call my mom. Hit my mom up.
And for Jess, it's just like, nigga,
Yeah,
I now that the kids are
I hope
older,
Potter gets you something, nigga. I don't know what to tell you.
I know he's 6 months, but you know.
the first couple Mother's Day, I was, you know, it's on us to make
Until
sure
they got
our
the
mothers.
yeah.
But once the kids got older,
Till they can
I'm like,
use
what y'all
his
want to do for your
hands.
mom? I got my own mom. Like, you
Yeah.
know, this your mama.
Really?
They're at an age now
I
where
think
it's like,
so.
they're at an age now where I'm like, this is your
Wow.
mom. Like, I'm still appreciative to her
Yeah,
for being
absolutely.
a mother.
But they facilitate
But
the
they
experience.
it's their mom.
Yeah.
So I'm like, but
Interesting.
for me, you know, because my mom and Cotty get along so well, though, we'll go to Bakersfield and I'll hop on the grill and cook for them, and you know, I'll two birds, one stone
Yeah.
with them,
Yeah.
and then they kind of hang out sometimes too. But like for the boys, I'm like, what do y'all want to do for your mother on Mother's
Right.
Day? Because this your
That's
I
your
got my
mama.
mom. This your
Yeah,
mom.
that
Hey,
ain't my
I don't
mama.
really like her like that, nigga.
Like, this is
Last-
your appreciation for what
Yeah.
your mom does.
Last Mother's
If it was
Day,
called Wife's Day,
right.
They
You
got
know
too
what
many
I mean?
days already. They already have too many days. They cover with
Yeah.
other names, but yeah.
Last Mother's Day, I just gave Pilot $100 and Lord Jesus Christ, I gave Pilot $100 and had him take her to breakfast to brunch
Yeah.
and had him like pay. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
that's
so
dope.
he's
That's
like,
dope.
That's
he
dope,
gave her
yeah.
the money and then you know she gave him back his change and shit. Left his little tip.
Did you get the change back? Was you like?
I wasn't there.
Oh,
It was
you
just
didn't
two of
handle
them.
all that.
oh, he
Yeah.
drove and everything.
It was yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, he ordered the Uber and all the shit. Opened the door for her.
Oh, so you let him handle that? That's
Yeah, I
that's
let him just
dope.
have his whole like, hey, this is
Yeah.
what you do. You know, when she come, you get the check.
But I also
They spent that whole
asked-
$100 too. I was like,
Of course.
how many motherfucking you bottomless mimosa with your son? that's what you doing?
You're a horrible mother.
You got to drive, pilot. Like,
Yeah.
look cool.
No, you gotta do the. But me and Kat, we're at a point too. It's like, what do you want to do? Like if I would have said, when she said, "What you want for Father's Day?" I want all y'all to get out. She would have left. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of. But the kids, they're at a cool age, so they be wanting to be with dad. I mean, we had movie nights. You know, they're on summer break. Yeah. So during the day, they do all their chores, workouts, all the homework, the stuff they're supposed to do. But they done with that by 12:30. The rest of the day, we kicking it, bro. And like, so we've been watching movies at night, and I could tell they enjoying it because Cody will be in the room working, writing, do whatever, and Keelan is all in. He's like, we're men. We gotta sit here with our chests out, and like he just we hanging out with dad. And I remember that age, it was different when you were hanging out with just your dad. Yeah, you just felt like a little like secret club kind of thing, And granted, they, when Cody's here, the other day I had to go shoot daddy issues. I was like, y'all want to roll with me? Or you want to? Well, we haven't seen mom in a couple days. We're gonna hang out with mom. Now they're very cognizant of who they've been spending time with. Yeah. So they was like, well, we haven't seen mom in a couple days. We'll roll with her, and we'll see you next time. I'm like, all right. Like they try to spread it evenly.
That's good that they actually understand that too.
Yeah.
I never thought about the Mother's Father's Day aspect from how y'all said it. Was just like, this is my mom. I'm going because it's my mother. But it's like when it comes to your girls, it's like, cause at least I feel like I would be like, all right, I would try to make it a thing for Janelle in a space. But it's just like I would probably now that I'm thinking about it, I would probably put the emphasis on them to be like, look, on this particular day, y'all need to be showing y'all support for your mom, y'all love for your mom. I'll help y'all out on some shit, but like this is what y'all supposed to be doing.
Yeah, like they wanted to make her breakfast Mother's Day. They was like, Dad, we're gonna make her breakfast in bed, which means I'm making. That's the thing. They're coming up with the plans. I'm still doing the shit.
They just facilitate.
But they're the facilitators. Like I don't come up with any plans. I don't do any of that.
Do you get any residual from that? Like in the sense of like
you know what he's saying. You know what he's saying.
Are you dogging her?
Yeah. But she getting dogged out later?
but in the sense of like, she knows that you essentially did all that shit for her. So it's like
I do that shit every day though. It's,
okay.
She know like that's the.
Oh, so every day is Mother's Day.
One thing I will say,
you one of those guys.
I don't feel underappreciated. I know a lot of people feel like that. And
that's kind of where I was getting at.
In their relationship, a lot of people feel like that in their relationship.
So tell us you smashed last night without telling us you smashed last night. You know what I'm saying? That is very I smashed last night energy. Yeah. I feel very appreciated in my home.
No.
We did exactly what I wanted to do last night too, sexually.
You just saw my kids left. So tonight would probably be,
the wild
no kids in the house.
Yeah.
When the last time I've been able to scream, nigga? Yeah.
I haven't had morning sex in ages.
Kids? Nah.
Ages.
Not little kids. Unless you get up early. Not at this age because they're waking up.
Yeah, they waking up hella early.
My kids sleep in now.
Okay, that's cool.
You know what I'm saying?
I was up today at 5:30.
Yeah.
Actually, I was up fucking all night. Actually.
Let me ask you this though: are you a morning sex or a night sex person?
I'm a morning sex person.
Really?
By trade.
I'm a sex person.
Yeah, I think morning, noon, evening, whenever. I take it anywhere I can get it.
Yeah.
You know what's funny, man? I grew up a night demon. I hated morning sex. I feel like when I was rating my performances from night and day, it wasn't even close. I was an animal at night, and then during the day, I was like, yeah, you got it. You're getting some very mediocre dick right now. You're not getting the greatness. But at this age now, my night performances are like either I have to be on the brink of like exhaustion of like I'm halfway asleep and I get woken up out of sleep to have sex. I turn into a monster. I don't know why I do.
Or you got woken up. That's why.
Right. And then morning sex now, morning to like I guess like right before the afternoon sex is like where I'm like I feel like I'm at my most confident.
That's morning sex is like, cause you full of energy. It's not like I'm tired. Let's do this, right before we go to bed and go to sleep.
Yeah.
It's just like the best way to start your day, which is why I'm like, dude, every wife of every police officer should be like sanctioned to like have sex with him before he goes to work.
Yeah.
Cause you go to work, you know
angry,
what I'm saying?
Frustrated.
But if them nuts empty,
at least the night before.
Yeah.
Bare minimum.
Right before shift.
Actually, cops should be getting a lot of pussy.
Right before shift.
One, he's putting his life on the line. Two, that's a lot of stress. Like, nigga, ease his stress. Please.
I know cop friends who like they'll say like I feel sometimes like I'm in the world in a way that I'm received in the public eye. Like I feel like a hero, but then I go home and I don't get it. I'm just that nigga at home.
Yeah.
Like, and he's like, bro, like I'm doing crazy work.
Yeah.
You
That's
know
kind
what I'm
of
saying?
that's kind of a
kinda
mind
sad.
fuck. Yeah,
Yeah.
it kind of is.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
go home and the public treats you better than your family.
Yes.
That would be. But
That's-
I don't think it's a cop thing
I'm
though.
about to say, I think that's a lot of men's experience.
Yeah, I would say men go out in the world and they probably get treated. They probably get beat up by the world, but they still go be like, all right, the world treats me still better than.
if you're thriving in a sense.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
like people appreciate what I do. I'm really that nigga around here.
Yeah.
And then you go home and it's just like,
But I would go to what you said about draining draining a cop's nuts. I would say, I think if every man left the house with their nuts drained, the world would be a better place in general.
yeah. I would agree with
It
that.
don't matter what your occupation is.
Of course.
But most men don't even have a woman to drain said nut.
I guess I'll
what
just
I
go
mean?
with the guys that are either married or
That are married,
in a
yeah,
relationship.
yeah.
Like because even they're I feel like they're probably even more mad than a nigga that don't have a girl.
Right, because they got it on tap and they can't get it.
Yeah.
But then even like, damn,
That's good. Go ahead.
it's a weird balance too, because if that just becomes the norm, then it loses its essence.
Yeah.
It's
What
do you
just
mean?
like you just
You're
if
just
you,
doing it to do it.
yeah, if you're just doing it to do
Right.
it, then it's like you
I
kind of get desensitized to it.
I be wondering, like, I really want to know, like, why couples don't be smashing.
Cause
Like, I want to
shit.
be there, but I want to, he has his version, she has hers. I really be like, and why can't y'all fix this thing and smash? Like, I really
Yeah.
be invested in the psyche of sexless couples, because me and Cotty will hear stories like people like, man, it's been 3 months. I'll be like, I don't
that is wild.
understand.
Months is wild.
Yeah.
Weeks is wild to me. Like,
Yeah.
if y'all there, if I'm gone, fine.
Yeah.
But if you there and you could live with this person and go weeks without, that's crazy to me.
Attraction, man.
That's
You're
crazy.
also
And like, what's going on to make you not want to? And then whatever it is, identify it and fix. Like, why can't you? The psyche of relationships fascinates me.
I think it's a lot of factors. I think you have
I'd
to
agree.
factor in like the amount of change that has occurred before they got married, once they got married, and then
Right.
present time. Like that, two people you look at their wedding picture and you look at them now, they can look like two completely different people.
Right.
For sure.
Completely different people.
But I'd be
Sure,
like, I guess I'd be wanting to know what happened.
Oh,
I mean,
wait.
I'd be invested in the story.
What you talking about? Wait.
I think it's weight. I think sometimes it comes to insecurity. I think sometimes it's sometimes when it comes to women, anyways, like they become being a mother is more important than being a wife. And even when,
And it is,
yeah,
in a sense.
in a sense, but I think you can't lose being a wife or being a husband to your partner, because it's like at some point you got to get back to it at some point, I think. When you watch that, that couples therapy show I kind of show y'all on TikTok, whatever, I watched a video recently and it was like this dude, I think he did put on weight. He was like a skinnier, slimmer dude, and he's clearly bigger now. And they were trying to ask, like, he's like, it's been like 6 months since we had sex. And just like, I don't want to cheat, but God damn it, I'm like, why shouldn't I at this point?
Yeah.
And so the therapist asked her, was just like, hey, so what's the problem here? Like, and she kind of tried to beat around the bush, but some of it was like, he looks a little bit different. But then he was like, you look different.
Yeah.
Like, you put on weight. And so now she's trying to figure out, she's like, then I'm insecure. I don't like my shirt off. And it's like, it's a whole bunch of shit in her mind that's going on. It's just like, all right, man, like, there should have been a discussion about like that too.
Yeah.
Or just get your fat ass back in shape.
and then even all that shit, like, it's crazy. Like, even what Gary just said, like, in a sense, it is more important. My relationship with her makes the relationship with the kids better.
Yeah.
Like, the fact that we're rocking is why my kids love being at home, why they love their parents so much. Like when people invest in their kids and neglect each other, it's like, you think that's healthier for the child, for y'all to be in this weird ass space? Like, we function better because we're good.
Yeah, but if you had to choose one, whereas like the impact that you have on the kids is like, these are formative years. This is long lasting, et cetera, et cetera. You can get complacent and you can get your relationship back. You can do some work. It can fall off. You can get
A
that
lot of
back.
people can.
You can fuck the kids up in a way where like it's irreparable damage.
True.
You can get the relationship back.
But let me ask you this: Have you heard of instances where the parents were like, "Yo, we love each other more than the kids," and the kids feel like they're so neglected by the parents?
I've never heard that in my life.
No, I don't think
I've
so.
never heard that in my
No.
entire
Yeah.
life.
No.
That's why. That's why. At least for me, I feel like you can.
I've met parents.
Because I don't think you can actually do that.
I've met parents who I feel like they shouldn't have had kids. Like they, like they want to travel or blah blah, and they're not good parents.
Yeah.
They're not. So I don't know. I don't know if they're.
Yeah, there's two extremes.
Yeah.
There's an extreme like this kid is just up with the adults, like he just being, which is it creates a different type of kid.
Drew Barrymore.
Yeah, I'm just out with the, So, yeah, I don't know.
I've always stressed a healthy relationship is very important. Like with your people, that whole my kids come from, nigga. No.
Yeah, it's also hard to define.
My kids, no, nigga.
It's hard to define.
Like, you guys being dope for each other is the best thing you could do for your kid. One, they're watching love up front.
Right, exactly.
They're loved. There's bonding. There's a healthy. They say kids are loud are the kids who feel safest. The kids who play loud and play hard because they're not worried about getting in trouble. The kids are loud as fuck. Not in public. Very respectful kids. But here they just make it because they're free. They don't have stress. They don't have trauma. They're just free. And
I would say that's in the White Handbook.
What?
The allowing them to express themselves freely.
They have fun, but they don't talk to me crazy. That's not in the White Handbook.
Okay.
Well, I would say.
That's not in the White Handbook.
Okay. All right.
Hey, I'll kind of lean with Gary on this. It's like, to be honest with you, it's like the way they speak, the way you kind of even get down to their level, their eye level, but like, hey, so go ahead and express yourself and get that out. That wasn't in our handbook for a very fucking long time.
You been reading?
I just.
Nigga been reading on the low.
Lying ass nigga.
I know I ain't reading
Go to
shit.
his room, Gary. Nigga got hello books in there.
You won't find a single one.
In the secret vault.
Yeah.
What I did was I just took stuff that my dad did that I thought was you could have handled that better.
And then correct it. Yeah.
then correct it.
That's
Yeah,
exactly
that's
what I
it.
did.
Yeah.
You don't need to fucking
read
no book on that shit. Like I just all right. And then I think we have a better understanding. Like they're kids, man. The kids are gonna do kid shit sometimes.
Yeah.
And, and I think too, I'm not in the same space mentally like Gary was talking about the stress of life. And I'm not where my dad was at 19 with 2 kids.
Absolutely.
I'm a grown ass man.
You really a young grandpa.
Yeah, like I'm a grown ass.
You a young grandpa.
How we grew up, low key.
Yeah, we young grandpas.
Like low key, people in our parents at 40 were grandparents.
Yeah.
And
I got a
shit
7-year-old granddaughter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like,
that's not crazy.
So I'm just like, nigga, I'm in a different. And then what I do for a living, so shit be funny to me, nigga.
Yeah.
Like I can.
That's one thing I was gonna point
put
to.
It on stage and
I was gonna point to the way that we view the world and the way that your wife views the world, being a storyteller and seeing like relationship dynamics and being able to kind of like curate your own relationship just from all the bullshit that you see as well. It's like we don't want to be that, and it's naturally a part of what we do. We kind of like observe people and see like observe and try to understand like human behavior.
Yeah, we do want to learn more, but again, our lives are different. It's a whole thing but it's all just experience.
Yeah,
it's just you gotta go through the shit. So we could prep you for hours on fatherhood, nigga. But
yeah, I mean, I have some ideas that things that I want to do. That I have some ideas that I want to do with the kids in the sense of how I want to parent.
I'll tell you, bro. All you got to do is take them fishing. You already got that locked in. You good. You solid.
But I do want to do stuff like a lot of stuff like in that realm of like fishing, camping, and just like take them out to even like to the snow and stuff like that, and because that shit is dope to me.
That shit was fun. We did it twice. That shit was fun. The snow was fun.
Yeah. I'm just thinking if your kid come out right and he just got like regular eyes and you just like I don't know what to do with this nigga. He's gonna have a completely different experience from me.
Well, you know what's funny? You know what's funny about that though is like. He'd be like, Dad, how do I get girls? Honestly, I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know what to tell you, bro.
I didn't do that. I don't know.
I would say this. I'm prepared. I won't say I'm prepared, but like
I thought about this.
I had to.
What if my kid has regular eyes?
Because at the end of the day, Janelle she has just regular dark brown eyes. Mm-hmm. So at least in Janelle's head, right? Janelle has it in her head that when we have a child, right, she thinks that we're gonna have a daughter that's gonna have my eyes and a son that's gonna probably look more in the realm of her, and his daughter will look more in the realm of me. That's how she has it in her head. I see us probably having twins because she said twins running her family. Mm. And I was like, I could see them both having more of my features, but I was like, if they don't, I have to kind of figure out how to
funny though?
have to operate.
You could think
they got some books on that.
No, nigga. The kid gonna come out however they come out.
Being
And that's true too.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's true too.
That's
what I was thinking too. Yeah.
I never really thought I didn't put much into. Is like, oh, my kid gonna look. I didn't know.
Every kid
Like,
is
I was
different.
just like,
Yeah.
I was just like, whatever I have. I just hope they're good at sports. That was really my only thing.
Really?
I was like, I hope they're good. Because I went through a phase where I didn't want them to play sports
Mm-hmm.
because of my injuries and body.
I had friends say that.
Because you
Yeah.
get, because when you get to this age and
Yeah.
all that shit come back and the
Mm-hmm.
weather change and your ankles hurt at night and your knee hurt and your shoulder hurt and you be like, man, this shit's uncomfortable. Or like when you drive on a road trip too long, I have to rest this one. It hurts. Like this
Yeah.
one. So you think about that type of shit and you be like, nah, bro. Like,
Yeah.
I got a homie too. I think with his son, he was just like, man, when you really lock in and be this shit, you got to be a different type of nigga. And he's just like, he wants to play sports, but he's like, I don't see that in him. Like he's like, I had that. He's talking about himself. He's like, I had that. He's just like, I'm just like, man, I'd rather not even put him through that. He's like, if he wants to play, then we'll go that route. But he's like, I'm not forcing sports on them at all.
yeah, I didn't
Which
care.
is like, I thought I would too. I'd be like, when I have a child, I was like, I'm gonna force them to play some type of sport.
I didn't care. They just happen to fall into it and they're athletic and they're good. But I went through a phase where I was like, nah, I'm good. Y'all can play piano or something like that. Like I'm not.
Yeah. Did you force Pollard into baseball? Or did he choose baseball?
We just put him in there. He's gonna do everything.
Yeah,
Okay.
He's gonna try. He's
all
gonna
the
try
stuff.
everything.
Okay,
Yeah.
you just throw him in a
Yeah.
bunch of shit and see what's
Yeah,
good.
see what you
yeah,
like.
yeah,
If
try
you
it
like
out.
it, we could keep doing it. If not,
They
you
build
know,
friends. They
yeah.
build skills. They build. You know, it's good to play everything and try it out.
To see a smile on it, you know, just
Yeah,
the
they have
smiles,
fun.
bro.
Even
They
in their
be
little
so happy.
uniforms, they be
Yeah,
happy and they
so
look
happy.
cute and shit. You know.
Is that what it mainly is for you, Gary? Or just like just watching him happy?
Mainly for yeah, it's part of that, but it's just like the moment means so much more to me because I didn't experience the moment. So for
Gotcha.
me, it's really about trying to be as present as possible for those moments. And mind you, of course, like I'll be on my phone here, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
there'll be times you'd be like, get off your phone, Dad. You know, so you gotta reset and lock
That call
in.
out is good though when they say something like that.
Yeah,
You're like,
like,
all
get
right,
off your phone. Like,
Yeah.
nigga, you don't know what I'm doing.
let me lock in.
I'm paying for your next sport, nigga. What you talking about?
Shit.
But what's funny is you already, like you said before, you're good. Like
Yeah.
you've already surpassed. And
Yeah.
then he'll be better. You already
He'll
broke
be better
the
than
cycle.
me.
He'll be better than you. And
should
then,
be, yeah.
You know,
But
you
you know, we
have
don't
you
know what kind of white fragility will sink in later years.
Do you think you surpassed your dad yet as a
father?
father, or you still got work to do?
I think my dad thinks that we're all better dads than him.
Oh man.
It's
damn.
because he was a better dad than his dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
but the
11
thing
on
is, that's what you want.
Of course.
He wouldn't. If I was like, Dad, we're way better dads than you, he'd be like, thank God. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
like I
You
feel like
should
you're a
be.
weirdo if you know, you
Competing with your son.
yeah,
like,
that's some weird shit to me. Like you
Yeah.
want your kid,
You don't know
you'll
what
never
you
be as
doing with
good as
them
me, or you'll
babies.
never be like.
I think one nigga would do that. I think Michael Jordan would be that nigga.
Well,
I think Michael Jordan would be like, I don't want these kids to be better than me,
the
bro.
thing is, there's dads who definitely do that, and
Yeah.
moms. But I think it's weird.
Yeah.
Because you should want, your whole goal is to, some
better,
person way back started
evolve.
this, and then y'all, every generation get better and better and better
Yeah.
and better. And so, yeah, I mean, I think my dad thinks we're all, I think he likes how we deal with our kids, how much the patience, the communication. I think that's one
Yeah.
thing he feels like, you guys, I could have communicated better.
All right, I got another question. Has your dad ever offered, and have you ever been receptive to him giving relationship advice?
No, he's never offered.
Really? Never? I don't tell you, son.
Oh
Matter of fact, that is one thing he compliments us on as well.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I love how you guys are.
All three of y'all, yeah.
He's
Yeah.
like, as husbands,
relationships, married, yeah.
You know, he's like, y'all just so much. He takes pride in you guys are so much better than me.
But y'all also hella older though. Like,
Yeah.
he gotta factor that in.
Yeah, I
dude.
don't think he
when
does.
you hella young,
You hella young.
you
bro.
hella young, bro.
And that's why we tell him, bro. We give him a pass.
Yeah.
Like, dude, you like me at 19, nigga.
Monster. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, nigga, me last year.
Nigga, like, so yeah, you got to factor that, and you got to take credit. Part of the reason we are the way we are because you guys raised us in a home that was, for the most part, loving, chilling. You know what I mean? So it was
Yeah.
easy for us to just regurgitate and then improve on what we already saw. So take your bow. You provided a space where we're like, okay, well, this is this is chill. And even our women grew up differently than us. But even being able to provide that space for them is dope. Like this normalcy this life that Cotty lives, that wasn't in her brain at all.
Right.
Like at all.
She grew up in way more dysfunction than you did.
Dysfunction and a bunch of shit. And she never wanted the kids, the family, the last name. None of that. That all changed. I made her change. She didn't think that this was a thing.
When she saw your family, or was just you in general?
No, just being. She didn't think that this was
her life,
a doable thing from men.
Because what she's seen, yeah.
So she when she decided she wanted to have a kid, even she was like, I'm not tripping off being married because. But
she spent most of her school years in private school, right? So I feel like you get some access to.
Families just fucked up.
Oh, really?
Rich ass families, they be more fucked up than the poor families.
Well, I wouldn't say that.
Shit, they just can fix their problems.
Yeah,
it's different.
Problems. Yeah, it's different.
But they have a whole different kind of shit going on where there's drug use.
So you don't think she saw any
absent fathers
stability?
or the moms being on Prozac, whatever. Like they have different.
People be going through it, bro.
Yeah. So she.
You got a soft spot in your heart for rich people who struggling emotionally?
Depending.
Okay.
Depending on, if your parents just didn't do a good job, you know what I mean? It's just like, I feel bad for anybody whose parents just didn't do a good job.
Yeah,
you're trying to figure it out.
Oh, damn. Do you feel like most parents, all things considered, in the flaws and et cetera, do you feel like majority parents do their best?
If I had to weight it, 60-40.
60-40, do their best?
This is the best I could
It's
do.
a lot of shit, dude.
It's a lot of shit.
Do you think it's their best in the sense of what they know they can do, or what they
obviously, what they're equipped with?
Yeah.
I feel like more parents.
Education, emotional intelligence.
Yeah, I feel like it's high that they feel like they're doing their best.
What do you say, 70-30?
I was gonna say maybe 80-20 for what they think what life is and what everything is. I think it's kind of
okay.
I would say 80-20.
Yeah.
Okay. So that would go into, do you think most people are inherently good?
I believe that.
You believe people are good?
I think
what's in the
people just
context
get
of good
fucked
though?
up,
I think people get fucked up.
Yeah.
What do you mean in the context? Like
just like naturally good.
Like if they were
respectful and all that.
If you took
No,
the
just
average
like-
person and put them in the ideal
Ethically good.
Okay.
home, you know what I mean? What would they be?
Or do you think they would be robbing and stealing?
Yeah, I think most people would be fine.
Yeah.
I think most people would be fine if they were all raised in a controlled. If you had a controlled environment, like a science experiment, and you put these people in. I mean, you see it every day. You see the differences. So I think the babies come out innocent, and then from there, it's just life is gone.
It's
like obviously you got some people who are fucking sick. You know what I mean?
But you see innocence in children, right? But then you also see how they're so id driven a lot of the times, and it becomes very like self-serving and very selfish, and it's very like mine. You know what I mean? And it's not necessarily like I instilled that in you. That's just a natural part of your development. So there are some like parts of them that are very like territorial and selfish.
But that's where the raising comes in, where you correct.
Yeah, you
some
correct
things that we naturally.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, naturally we'd all be still stabbing each other, and
right?
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So we're better. We've become better. We've evolved.
We've evolved.
Hmm.
But I think the household is so important, and I think you can change somebody who never had that experience, how they look at life now. Like Cotty didn't think any of this was positive. Now she can't imagine not having this. Like she's like, and she's happy. Like I got this. Like I didn't think this was gonna be. Like this. So she changed over. I want to get married. I do want to have your last name. I do want to do this now. I think we should do this now. Like, and when I first met her, nigga, she was so.
So what drew you to her then? If she was so like anti that, she was just content.
She was bad.
She was bad.
She was bad.
Okay.
And she was funny as fuck.
Okay.
That's really why we started hanging out. So
okay.
much. Like the first day we texted all day and shit, nigga. I was dying.
Really?
I was
she was saying just wild shit.
She was just funny, bro. Yeah. Like, and she could take a joke. She could give a joke. I was like, oh, she funny. And then our breakups was because of her I'd be like, I don't know if I could deal with this shit.
Uh-huh.
Like, you got a lot of shit that I'm not accustomed to. Like,
Mhm.
and then I think her doing the work of being like, I can become, which made me be like, all right, let me do the work to also
Be
go
more
with you on
empathetic.
this journey and
Yeah.
all that shit.
Yeah.
So we've definitely become better people, like with
Mhm.
each other. So it's cool.
Mm.
It's cool, but I'm glad I can provide her with the ideal family, and then my kids, they don't know anything. They so goddamn. We laugh at them behind their backs because
Mhm.
they're so fucking corny
Yeah.
because we provided such nigga. They disappointing us is like,
Yeah.
oh my god, like they can't even imagine. Like you see all the parents now. When I was 15, I was still in my kid's car. My kids can't even take out the trash. That's a good thing. That's a good
Mhm.
like you don't want them sheltered, but
Yeah.
like it's good when your kids all they know is like this bliss, this
Yeah.
fucking Family Matters as Full House as house that you live in.
Which is
That's
interesting when
cool.
you go from like the hood, like really in the trenches and the gutter,
Yeah.
and then you rise up, however, entertainment or whatever, and now your kids are raised in this environment, but you're like really
Right.
connected to this world, and now you're like you really seeing it like, bro, I don't know how you take that in.
I don't know,
First
'cause
generation,
we had a blend.
first
My
generation
mom and
rich.
dad were
Oh
that.
yeah.
Yeah,
And then we had suburbs, and then now these
yeah,
kids are gonna whenever this hits and it's
right.
gonna hit,
Yeah.
they're gonna grow up way
Yeah.
different. But we had a buffer first. Like I didn't come straight from.
But
They
your mom
did.
and dad lived in the inner city, but they like still had like a stable environment. They weren't in the projects.
It's hard to say projects in LA.
Uh-huh.
You
Well,
know,
there
they're
are
bad-
projects as
yeah,
well,
but the
but I
bad
know what you
neighborhoods in
mean.
LA is,
Yeah, the
they
whole
still got
neighborhood
front
is
yard.
bad.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
got front lawns and shit like that. So they were. I don't even think my mom and dad. It was more their environment.
Okay.
They didn't like. My mom was never involved in gangs, but my
Yeah.
uncles were.
She was in the house.
She was in the house, going to
Yeah.
school, being in she had straight
Yo,
A's. You know what I mean?
Was your dad in the house too?
No,
Okay, he was
no,
outside,
he was outside.
but he just went with the shit.
But I think he was outside because of his environment
Mm-hmm.
and because my grandpa wasn't equipped to not tell him to be outside.
Yeah, that's funny.
You know what I mean? Like my dad said, he's like, I remember 6th grade, I came home. My dad be having vivid, like
Yeah.
shit that shaped him. You can tell where that,
Yeah.
like that broke you, that broke you, that broke you. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And he was like, I remember I came home excited about Space Camp or some
felt
shit
that
like
story
that.
before, yeah.
And he was like, Grandpa shut that shit down. You corny ass. And it's so
Yeah.
fuck school. You know what I mean? He had a lot of things that, and that's why going back to what we were just talking about, had my grandpa did that, my dad could have went completely.
Right.
He was smart. He was, he could have went completely the other way. And then, but because that wasn't, then his friends, he was like, he even got like, his friends be like, let's go rob this. He'd be like, she old. Like in his heart, he was like, I don't
Yeah.
want to do this. You know what I mean?
It wasn't in them for real. Yeah.
But the environment you
be
grew up in.
ruthless. You know what I'm saying? You
It
got to
is
be
what it
ruthless
is.
to live that life, and you got to be ruthless to be a CEO of a Fortune 500 company.
Okay.
It's the
True.
same nigga.
Okay.
True. Hey, yeah.
You gotta have a
Same
certain not
dude.
give a fuck.
Not
You
give
know
a
what I mean?
fuck.
And so yeah, my mom and dad, it was just the environment that I don't think they are those type of people.
Are those type of people? Yeah.
Yeah, it was just that's why when they got out, I think they were so happy to move out to the suburbs and shit. Especially my dad. My dad hates LA.
Yeah.
So they were real happy. My dad actually, he said once when we bought that first house, he said in his mind, like, nigga, I made like life was it's downhill.
Complete.
I made it, nigga. I have
Yeah.
a house in the suburbs. I have a wife. I have 3 kids. Like I that American dream shit. I did
Yeah.
it. If I don't do nothing else, I never thought this was possible. So he peaked at fucking 27.
27,
Nigga. He was
yeah.
like, this is
Yeah.
icing from here on out. Like I won.
Especially when you look where you came from, you just like you probably thought you're gonna be either dead or like in jail, whatever or you were just like, man, I don't see myself making it this far.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, the
He
military
won
saved
early.
the military saved my dad. So
Yeah. Does your dad have that same sentiment? Like he won?
yeah, because it's very similar. I always say like your dad's kind of like the LA version of my dad in a sense, where he grew up in a crazy ass environment. He went through some issues with in the gang state in a sense, and then the military some things that he can't tell me happened, and then he was like the military legit saved my life, or what was about to happen next was going to be
Yeah.
the end of it.
That's got to be real bad because he's told you about bitches he's fucked and he's giving you like position advice. So this means that whatever it was
When it comes to like his legal
Yeah.
stuff or illegal stuff, there's just a lot of stuff that I don't know. He just be like he would talk, yeah, then
that's his like
yeah, whatever
Yeah.
I think he's probably having the actual thought of what happened,
Yeah.
and he's going like,
Probably traumatic.
Well, he has a therapist, so he probably.
He probably talked to the therapist about it. And he's open up about some things here and there, but I can tell there's things that are darker. He'll still have that whole moment of pause and be like, "Yeah, I can't really say that to you yet. There's some stuff I just can't. I can never tell you."
You know what fucked up the military for me? I'll be honest. Like, it would have been a possibility, but fucking like propaganda in movies, bro. Like what? Like watching Boys in the Hood.
Yeah.
Black man ain't got no place. Like that shit stuck with me.
For me, because my brother did it, my dad, my grandpa. For me, it was just listening. I was like, ain't nobody finna be yelling at, put me on the toilet. That was my whole boot camp.
Was
why I was like, I'm never doing it, and I'm not fighting in no war.
Yeah,
nigga,
I was very anti-war. It was very San Francisco. I was like,
I'm
no,
not doing
war's bad.
But it was boot camp. I was like, nigga, no.
Okay,
absolutely not.
Oh, and it's September 11th too. So that was right when we were like seniors. So I was like, oh, nigga, I'm not joining the military. Like, we're going to war for sure. Yeah. Okay. So that makes sense.
So you being first generation removed, how do you think that's shaping your parenting? Like you said, we had a buffer before, but you're from.
I've always been anti everything that I've been around. So I've always been seeking something else. I'm still searching for something else. I don't even like this shit.
So do you?
I'm looking for a coat, nigga.
What's the goal? What's the end game for your kids?
The end game for my kids? Well, I don't want to put too much pressure on it because then you got all these deadlines or whatever. They're not hitting these marks.
No, I just mean okay. So they're grown, right? What would make you sit back and be like, I did it. I won. Like I said, my dad had his moment early. What would be your I won moment? If
Pilot grows to 6'1", I'd be like, nigga, I did it.
No, at that point you like.
I don't give a fuck what you.
Wait, does Jess have any tall people in her family?
Yeah, like, her brother's pretty tall. He's like 6'1", and then all of my nieces and nephews are gigantic. They're all gigantic people. My mom's pretty tall, so my dad was pretty tall too. So we'll see. But no, I think it's so hard to see like where the world will be in that time. But if it is kind of as it is now, I guess, just that the both of them are like, they have a strong passion, something that they love and something that they enjoy that moves them, that they're explorers, that they're like curious about the world. Obviously like academics and stuff like that. But I think if you have all these other aspects, I think all of that shit will check off. Right. You know what I mean? It'll kind of come like as a byproduct. So just that they're curious about the world and that they're studious and that they have a passion. Yeah. And I would feel pretty good. I feel pretty good about that. Having some sort of moral code in terms of how you pursue and build relationships. I hope that they're good friends. Okay. That they're reliable people and that they're people of their word, and that they're honest to the degree that it's not just like rooted in being naive, but like and that they can kind of navigate this fucking shitstorm.
What about relationship wise?
Relationship, man, I want to lean monogamy, because I think at that point in time, I think everything is gonna be fucking crazy. I think gender fluidity is gonna be fucking out of this world. Like,
I agree.
I think polygamy. I think all that shit is just gonna be. It's just gonna be rampant. It's gonna be crazy.
I think AI niggas gonna be sleeping with the AI.
I hope you fucking humans. You know what I'm saying? Like, first and foremost, like, get you a human, nigga. Don't bring no robots in my house, nigga.
I think it's gonna get to that level for sure.
If you do bring a robot, she better be sentient. Nigga, she better have a conscience. Crazy.
What about you? What's your I won?
Well, I'll say first with my dad, his I-1 was degrees. Especially when my brother got the PhDs, I think that my dad was like, as a father, nigga, I did it, because he always pushed degrees, and I always wish that he pushed our dreams a little bit more. Because
he wasn't a school nigga.
I just wish he would have been like, all right, son, you really like this over here. Like, there was some things he would put me in, like basketball, of course, but it's like, I wish when I was like trying to get into acting at a young age and doing all this stuff, he would have been like, all right, son, let's get you over here to these classes.
So you never felt support?
I felt support when I got older.
Okay.
When I was younger, at times I feel like I wasn't getting the support that I wanted anyways.
Because he was still dealing with his own shit too.
He got his own shit. He's a single father. He's just trying to figure shit out too.
Yeah.
And he doesn't understand that his game was his mom told him like, get the boys to school. Unless they got a college degree, they'll live forever. That was her whole thing. They'll be able to work forever to make money.
I mean, in fairness, your brother's doing great.
He's doing extremely well. Extremely well.
So in fairness,
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying for him.
wrong.
He's like, he stands with his chest out, his head up in the air, like, nigga, as a pops, nigga, I'm good. I'm just I say we got 4 degrees between us. Corey got all 4 of them, but nigga, he got degrees.
Funny.
So
That's funny.
I know for me as a parent, I feel like I would want to, whatever my kids' passions are early, I want to feed into that very, very early, so they can kind of live that lifestyle. So it doesn't matter what it is, like you say, if it's piano, if it's drawing, if it's
What if it's cross dressing?
if it's engineering, if it's
You said you want to lean into their passions.
if it's
RuPaul is my idol, Dad.
if we designing the cross dressing dresses, whatever, nigga.
So you gonna be a designer?
If we get into that to where it's like, yo, Dad, I love doing this thing over here when it comes to like, artistry, or even like if they love school, like, all right, cool. And I can sit back and be like, all right, man, good kids to society, respectful. You know what I'm saying? They ain't no punks. Son and daughter ain't no suckers.
What does that mean?
Nobody gonna bully you. Nobody gonna punk you. You're not gonna get ran over easily by anybody in any space. Just standing up for yourself. It ain't gotta be necessarily
Like
fighting.
verbally, okay.
It ain't gotta just be fighting. It's gonna be like in the sense of like, hey, respectfully, don't just respect my boundaries, whatever the case may be. Relationship wise, same thing in the sense of like, I would love to see my children married. I would love to go to my daughter or my son's wedding and be there and be happy, smiling, and being like, man, I want to see them have a family, not be a baby daddy, a baby mama, and out here toxic as fuck. Like, I wouldn't want to see that with my children.
That's a good question too. Like, what if they're in a relationship that you don't think is the healthiest for them? Like, how do you?
Hope it soon works out for the best.
Yeah.
I feel
Let
like
them
for
live
me,
it. Let them live it. You're not gonna put nothing in their
I'm
ear.
gonna say something, bro.
You gonna say
No,
something?
Absolutely.
But the thing is,
Absolutely.
like, what you gonna do what you gonna do. I hope for the
But
best.
you can still say something and still have that
But
understanding.
if I said that, I said it early and you didn't listen. So it is. What I saw it coming a mile away. I didn't live. So if you ignore,
But you hoping that they prove you wrong,
absolutely.
Okay. or do you just want to be right? See, I told you.
Don't.
I told you she was clapping cheeks down there on 14.
But I look at how my dad did it. My dad would just like, when he'd see a girl that I was talking to, and he just kind of read the energy, but like, man, she a cum dumpster, bro. You need to like kind of chill on that.
That's the
Wow,
funniest
to call
thing
a
ever.
kid.
That is the funniest thing.
Yeah, he
That
was
is so
wild.
funny to call a sophomore.
Oh, a kid, bro. It's wild.
To call someone in biology 10.
It's wild, bro.
He said it in other words, but high school girls. But I remember I was dating this girl when I was in college. I'll tell you off air. This
She
particular
gonna
girl.
be a cum dumpster.
He was like, nigga, she a whole cum dumpster. Nigga. I could see it in her face, nigga.
Wow.
I read the whole energy, nigga. I know she
Wow.
get brain through.
They bring a black light out. See, I told you.
This see is all over her
And
face.
she swallowed too. Look.
Stick your tongue out, girl. Yeah, look at that shit.
Yeah.
You see her tonsils, nigga? Insane. But
She ain't going fishing with us, nigga.
But my dad, he would state those things and then sit back and be like, all right. And when I made the decisions on the other end, he'd be like, what I tell you, goofy, see, look at you. Hold your ass, son.
Is that what he said when the girl cheated on you?
Just like
He knew it? No.
he saw she was a super attractive girl. He saw that she was like, when she go out, she gets attention because sometimes she'll come out with us. And he peeping how guys are staring at her. And he was just like, yeah, son, this not gonna end well for you.
Whoa, that's hilarious.
Like, your eyes ain't enough.
That's hilarious.
This is what I realized at an early age, or at least in high school going to college. Eyes don't beat height. Your eyes don't beat height. If you have eyes and height, you a dangerous.
Okay.
But if you are under 6 feet with the eyes and a nigga is 6'3", you not winning, dog.
5'9" eyes versus 6'3" no eyes.
You see the matchup, nigga? The video game, nigga.
But then you just start adding shit to the underdog. Like degree though, 2 degrees? No, it just bumps up a little bit.
It's like you're not. That's a battle that you gonna. It's an uphill battle for you. So he saw that shit, and he was just like, I told you she was gonna be out here, son.
Yeah.
And he kind of consoled me a little bit. Hey man, I understand you hurt because you was with her for a long time, but hey man, man, everybody done had a taste of it, nigga. So fuck it. Like that was
That's
how
funny
hard.
how he did you. I told you so, but also, all right, man, listen.
Yeah.
I know you're hurting. You know?
But my dad always brings it back to like, hey man, she's fucking whore, nigga. So what you mad about? What you mad over whore for, nigga?
Yeah.
That's my dad.
He didn't want you to be sad. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I'm hoping I have the relationship with my kids to where they just. I'm trying to build it now where everything I've told you has worked out. So just trust me, bro.
Yep.
And they're getting there. They're getting, because especially Keelan will be like, if I just did what I was supposed to do. Like he's starting to get like, this happened because I didn't do A, B, and C, and you told me A, B, and C, and I didn't listen. So, and I don't be trying to be like, nigga, blah blah. I be like, all right, y'all, listen.
Yeah.
I'm trying to tell you. You know, y'all one day it'll click that everything me and your mom is telling you is for your benefit. This don't benefit me at all.
Yeah,
I'm trying to help you out and have your life easier. But you know, you're gonna learn some things the hard way, and that's what it is. And then so when it do happen, you'd be like, shit. So my track record is good with them. Yeah. So I'm hoping by the time they get 18, my track record is fantastic. And then they're like, yeah, we just listen to this nigga because he got it.
But you know how fucked up shit can turn? Just like at 18, they gonna be like, my father was never around. He was always working.
That'd be
like,
crazy.
What? Leaning into victim culture. I was there.
I'd be like,
I was going on the weekends every once in a while.
Yeah,
nigga, like,
talking
relax. No, I videotape. Oh, so where did all this footage come from?
Yeah.
If I was never here.
Oh yeah, receipts.
We got receipts all day.
That was my favorite. One of my favorite things about my dad was that my dad pulled the camera out all the time. When we had friends over, company over, when he was doing barbecues, he would set up a secret camera somewhere. He just put that bitch in the corner. He just set it up and he just walk away. And we having conversations that we probably shouldn't even be having. Yeah. And he'd be sitting there like, yeah, they having fun. They talking. I like this. Yeah. Or he'll ask questions. Hey, so like he know the camera's on, so he'll ask questions. So what about old girl that you was with in 10th grade? What happened to that, Keenan? And he'll spark some fire up, and they start roasting and clowning. He just walk back out to the barbecue like, yeah, them niggas is talking.
That's funny.
So, but then he used to replay those videos and be watching them on the VCR or whatever, and I'd be like, damn man, like I remember when I had hair. It's just like looking at that. And you just looking at just life, you're like, damn, we were talking about that at that age? That's fucking crazy. So
that's crazy how dope your dad was sober. Like, so that definitely gave you like a sense of like, damn, dude, I wish if he could just stop,
this
bro.
nigga
Like you would be so dope.
Be fire, bro.
Versus what if your dad was only cool when he was drunk? You know what I mean? Like there's no.
I think that's why I have a good sense of like still with fatherhood with my dad, and even the lessons that he taught me was that when he was sober, I was able to be like, yo, dad is pretty cool sober. Yeah. Like there was sternness and there was strictness there and there was lessons, of course, but I was still like, okay, like he means well with a lot of this stuff. And then when he was an alcoholic, it was just like he was off his rocker in a sense.
Yeah, you got two things, dude. Like to kind of sum up, you could just sum up your relationship. If anybody asks, like, what was your relationship with your father? Like, you just be like, he was an alcoholic, but he took me fishing. Gotta tell everybody. I'm like, oh, okay, that kind of gives you the breath of like.
Is fishing that big of a deal to y'all?
Fishing is like
me, no.
Fishing is crazy.
Yeah,
fishing with your dad and enjoying it and having that bonding time.
You think that's from the movies though?
But like, you know, when Lawrence Fishburne said Trey Fisher, bro, it was like, you know what I'm saying?
You gotta. The more we talk, the more I realize your father-son stuff came from TV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all he had.
And it came from TV
because
but TV is like an accurate, somewhat depiction of like the good time. Like this is a good thing. Fishing with your son is peak.
Yeah,
I understand. I understand that
thing.
being a big deal though. It's like,
yeah, I get it.
Especially if you're not for
camping?
you.
He went camping
and brought friends.
And he got to bring his friends with him.
Hey man, that shit was. I love that.
Our thing was different. We were big on you know, like the sleepover play date, like that type of shit.
We did that too.
Like that was for us. That was the thing. Like my dad would go to Blockbuster, which I want to rent.
Yep.
And we eating pizza and all and farting all night and all that shit. That shit was. I would do that over camping 10 out of 10 times.
But we had to do both though. So
yeah.
We got it because when we do the Blockbuster thing, my dad would be like, "Yo, you get one movie and you get one video game."
Yeah.
And so you watch that movie for the night. You can play video games all. Yeah.
We did go camping, but it wasn't in the woods. We would go. Did you go to Manteca? So Manteca Water Slides was it's the biggest.
I went camping there.
And so you go camping there, and you wake up the next morning and go to the water park and do all this. So we would do that, which was fun. But like our God brothers there, it's kids. We playing football, we doing. So it was just all that shit was
you can
hella
say
fun.
All that, but as the bastard child, I'm still choosing Keenan's father.
Oh, go ahead.
Hey man, I can't even front, man. When I look back after the abuse, I go, I'll take it again.
Yeah, I was big Keith.
he
I was
said-
big Keith.
he
Because
said,
we
"I'll
didn't know
take it
about, I
again."
didn't know about the fishing. I was big Keith. I was all, yeah.
Keith said, "I'll take it again."
I'll take the beatings again and the alcoholism and the abuse.
Oh, I should tell my dad that if I could do it all over, I would choose you again.
Yeah.
That was a good. It was a
Same.
good time, bro. It was a good.
Tell my
it
dad
was
this.